breaking down the political landscape. This is KQ Truth for you. Political honesty rooted in God. This is KQ Truth for you.
Good evening. Welcome to KQ. I'm Ken.
I'm Kevlon.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. This is KQ, the truth for you.
Good evening and welcome once again to KQ. Thank you for joining. I'm Kevlon.
And I am Ken.
We're coming to you once again from the mean streets of Montgomery, where everything is lovely. We survive because of our strength. And today, me and Ken, we've been talking a little bit, and we're getting a little bit disgusted because there's a conventional wisdom going around, particularly amongst our African-American friends and family members, that there's nothing going on that's positive in the Joe Biden administration. And we're here to start to debunk and deconstruct that argument piece by piece. And today we have a strong example.
Yes, we do. I don't know if, I was kind of lucky in the fact that I went to the military and all of my education was rolled up in my tech schools. And then I had to take a couple of CLEP tests, and then bada bing, bada boom, you got something that looked like a degree. Well, a lot of other people out here in this wide world of ours are actually having to go to these crazy colleges and rack up all this serious student loan debt. And Joe Biden has been relieving people of their student loan debt. Now, doing our research today, come to find out our country has like almost $2 trillion in student loan debt.
That's more money than if you add up all of the credit card debt in the United States of America.
That's pretty wild. Student loan debt is a serious thing. So really his endeavor to relieve people of student loan debt, it's still just tip of the iceberg, but he doing something. He trying, and it's a big deal. Yeah. It's a big deal in people's lives that actually got that email or text message saying, "Hey, buddy, you're zeroed out. You don't have to pay nothing."
Well, the thing about it is, I put this in the category of promises made, promises kept. He campaigned on this. The Democrats have been discussing this for a long time, just like they've been discussing negotiating prices for drugs and the different things that they're doing, infrastructure. They've been discussing these things, and now during the Joe Biden administration, he's putting the rubber to the road and meeting the people where he told them he would be. And buddy, has he delivered. He was trying to do this in a wholesale fashion, but we have a thing called Republicans out there, and they block it.
Right. Yeah, they don't want nobody to have nothing. But
so we're going to try to make the case today that student loan forgiveness is happening in a huge fashion. It may not have touched you yet, but that's not the overall point. And we're going to talk about some of the benefits of student loan forgiveness. The fact that this money, instead of paying off these banks and tying up people's money, they're able to actually spend that money on things like housing and furniture and things that build our economy up. Because the stronger our economy is, the more opportunity that there is for everyone. So this is not just a fly-by-night attempt to gain votes or a fly-by-night attempt to season the pockets of certain individuals. No, this is an overarching an attempt to better the structure of the United States of America. And just like most of the other initiatives that the Biden administration puts forward, this one disproportionately assists people of color, Black people. Black people have a tendency to accrue more student debt than white people because white people have more generational wealth that they can use, so they don't even have to rely on student loans in the first place. So, yeah, this is something that's leaning heavily towards the Black population. Not to say that white people should be excluded, but the facts are the facts, and that's just how it works out.
All right. Well, let's hear what Joe has to say about it.
Take it away, Dark Brandon.
Today, I'm proud to announce 5 major actions to continue to relieve student debt for more than 30 million Americans. First, my administration will propose a new rule to cancel up to $20,000 in runaway interest for any borrower who owes more now than when they started paying the loan. And for low and middle class families enrolled in my SAVE program, we'll cancel all of your interest, all of your interest. And second, we plan to cancel student debt for borrowers who still owe student loans, even though they started repaying them more than 2 decades ago. Third, we plan to cancel debt for about 2 million borrowers who would be eligible for debt forgiveness through the SAVE program, public service loan forgiveness, or other debt canceling programs, but are not enrolled in these programs. Fourth, we plan to cancel debt for borrowers who the Department of Education determines were cheated by universities that left students with unaffordable loans and delivered little in benefits to students. And finally, the Department of Education will propose a new rule to cancel student debt for Americans facing financial hardships. And over the coming months, the Department of Education will propose and then implement these plans. And starting this fall, we plan to deliver up to $20,000 in interest relief to over 20 million borrowers and full forgiveness for millions more.
Dude, that sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good right there. You know, like I said, I didn't really have a whole lot of student debt coming up, but I mean, you know, my kids do. And I want them to not have to pay it. If they don't have to pay it, I mean, anything to get them to, you know, leave daddy pockets alone. Get some student debt relief and don't call me.
Absolutely.
I mean, but I love my kids. Y'all call me. Hit me up. You know I'm here for you, baby.
I mean, think about it. I mean, these are people who are struggling hundreds of dollars each month, trying to figure out how to put their kids into childcare so that they can get to work. Spending money. You have greedflation going on where businesses are charging more money than they have to meet their budgets. You know, and money is thin, and this is making a big life-changing difference in millions of people's lives and millions of people in the lower and middle classes. This is the type of attention. You know, he didn't have to do this. He didn't have to stick his political neck out there and on the line and take a chance in order to look out for these people. But see, this is how you determine where someone's heart is. I don't care what people say about what they think if they have no examples. This is a clear example of focus and intent towards the middle and lower class Americans to help relieve them of the burdensome influence that these student loans have on their lives. I mean, this is just life-changing for so many people.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right, let's kick on over to my boo, one of my boos.
Yes, indeed. So we're going to hear an example of someone whose life this touched.
I was doing what moms do in the kitchen with my 3 children, making dinner, checking emails, and I opened up an email that said, "Congratulations, your loans have been forgiven." To say I was stunned, a total understatement. It was $40,000 plus in student loans just gone, zero. I wish you could have seen it. There was dancing. There were tears on my part.
In the past few years, more than 4 million Americans have opened their email or student loan account to see the life-changing news that their balance is now zero, thanks to the Biden administration's student loan forgiveness plan. Well, tens of millions more of you out there could soon be getting the same good news. As today, President Biden announced a new student debt relief plan that could lower or erase the loan balance for up to 30 million Americans, which is, to borrow Bidenism, a big effing deal. This new plan.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, buddy.
Love
big
it,
deal.
love it. I mean,
very big deal.
I'm very happy for anyone who gets to open up that email. I'll just put it there and leave it.
Right. Now, this is our special guest. And we just love her attitude, love what she does. So we just decided to, well, in other words, she made the cut. So y'all get to check out AOC as well.
Another one of our boo.
Let's do it. I gotta put the screen.
Yay.
Yeah, we love putting old AOC on there. That's my other boo.
Yeah, man. Chalk one up, man. Chalk one up for the old Gipper.
Yeah, man. Doing it, getting this stuff done. So let's see here. Click over to this other screen. See how much student loan debt Biden has canceled. So, and this is as of Friday, March the 29th. So this was a little old, but yeah, just like a week. But since that week, he's already forgiven even more. So yeah, it just keeps going.
This is about his sixth time.
Right. But as of a week ago, it says since taking office, Biden's administration has approved the cancellation of more than $144 billion in federal student loans, wiping out debts for nearly 4 million borrowers by using a number of existing programs that aim to offer debt relief for certain groups of struggling borrowers. The amount Biden has canceled is equal to 9% of the $1.6 trillion federal student loans being held by borrowers. So we got a lot of work to do. One more good note on here is it's about 1/3 of the amount of student loan debt that would have been canceled by the broad forgiveness program. About $430 billion would have been forgiven last year if the Supreme Court had have allowed the program to take effect. So, Biden initially announced that they were going to be forgiving student loans. The Republicans came out and sued Joe Biden, sued the administration, and took it to the Supreme Court to have it stopped. And the Supreme Court agreed with the Republicans and was like, okay, yeah, maybe you're overstepping your boundaries to forgive all that debt. Well, right. Joe, of course, found another way around it.
He didn't quit.
He didn't quit. He just kept on going.
That's
and
right.
He's still going. And if we give him 4 more years, I don't know, we might be able to put a big dent in that 1.6 trillion. Absolutely. Wow. What could we do with 1.6 trillion?
Yes.
As a college-educated nation, my goodness. Give all of our educated people, the smartest people, or the people that had the initiative, that some college graduates are not that smart. I get that out of there. But still, you got pretty much the smartest people. Give them $1.6 trillion. Let's see how this nation takes off then. You know what I'm saying? It's just opportunities. That's what Joe Biden is giving, opportunity.
And in typical form, the Republicans jumped in and tried to block it. That's the one thing we can count on from Republicans. Anything that comes out that's going to be beneficial heavily to the middle class or to just normal, everyday, ordinary Americans and the non-rich, they're going to try to block it. This is just what we've experienced over the years, i.e. Obamacare, you know.
Yeah, this Supreme Court strikes down Biden's student debt forgiveness program. This is back from June the 30th of 2023. So since June the 30th of 2023, about halfway through last year, that's when they struck it down. Well, guess what? Now we're building back up. We're almost back up to that sweet spot that he wanted to get rid of almost $500 billion in debt.
That's right. And it's funny because, you know, the Republicans say, oh, how could you forgive this debt? Well, when it was time for them to forgive the PPP loans that went heavily to the rich, they had no problem doing that. As a matter of fact, a lot of the Republican Congress people, they have businesses and they took those PPP loans and had their loans forgiven to the tunes of $10 million, $20 million. You know, they didn't mind that being forgiven. But if you try to help somebody in the middle of the lower class, oh my goodness, here they come.
So $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in student debt, and it's no, can't do that.
Can't help those people.
Yeah. So where Donald Trump stands on student loan forgiveness. This is for my MAGAs out there. And this is a very big, long story off of the Washington Post. The part you see in the purple there, that's the entire story. Oh, wrong button. This button. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it says Donald Trump has opposed canceling student loan debt. He backs income-based repayment plans. So when you do those income-based repayment plans, basically they're saying, okay, so yeah, you got this $80,000 student loan, and you got your college almost taken care of, and you're missing a few classes, so you didn't get your degree. So now you're forced to have to work, mediocre jobs, $40,000 a year. Now they're going to base your payments based on the amount of income you're making. Therefore, you'll be paying less than what you needed to pay. But guess what? Doesn't affect the interest. Not at all. So how you put it, Kev, by the time you get to the end, you end up owing more money than you started out with.
Absolutely.
So
that's part of what Biden is forgiving on this last tranche, is the people whose loans have increased over time, even though they've been making their payments,
Right, making payments for 20 years.
Yeah.
And the amount you owe is bigger than when you started.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah.
Now keep in mind, everybody, we're the only industrialized country in the world that not only has for-profit healthcare, but we also do not cover our students through college. The study that I had seen a few years ago showed that every single dollar that the federal government spends on education, they get $7 back into the treasury. So that was the I would say before the 80s, before the Ronald Reagan era. That's why most colleges, they were 80% or so of the amount of money spent on college was spent by the federal government and the state governments. But when Reagan came along, they pretty much flipped that over, because, how do you keep people down? You keep them down by saddling them with debt. Why should the federal government continue to get that $7 every time they spend a dollar? Instead, let's pile it on to the individuals and burden them. So that's the Republican way, and that switch is taken over. Nowadays, people forget that, that even existed, that there was an era where college was essentially low cost or free. People used to be able to take waitressing jobs and pay their way through college. People used to travel to California to go to Berkeley and go there basically for free and end up, doing a part-time job to cover it. Those days are over, thanks to the Republicans. And now we're trying to put some equity back into this situation and help those in the lower and middle class. And Joe Biden is ushering this in for our benefit. This is a win-win all the way around.
Yes. Go Dark Brandon. All right.
Dark Brandon strikes again.
Yeah. So this one, we're going to round it out. We got a little bit of liberal redneck, one of my homies, good homie. And dude is hilarious. Yeah. Check him out. He's got something to say.
Well, the Biden administration continues its welcome and novel trend of doing stuff by announcing a federal student loan forgiveness program. Not everybody's happy. A lot of bitching from the right. A lot of talk out there about, oh, okay, so taxpayers got to bail out these lazy, entitled millennials who regret the decisions they made while pursuing their degree in cat studies. Is that it? Well, if you'll allow a personal retort, I'm a millennial. I worked 30 hours a week in college, made straight A's, and got an MBA. I followed every one of your rules to the letter, and I still graduated with a mountain of student loan debt. Why? A, because the system is predatory and rigged, and B, because I was also a money-dumb trailer baby, bereft of financial literacy, who once signed up for 3 credit cards in exchange for 3 medium one-topping pizzas. This just in, college kids sometimes make poor decisions. It's arguably the whole point of being a college kid. But that's not all they're saying. There's a lot of talk out there today about, oh, I worked my ass off for years to pay off my student loans. Now they just get off scot-free. How is that fair? Well, as someone who also paid off their student loans, I love this program because I, A, understand how much it sucks to have student loans, and B, am not a selfish asshole. I really don't get this mentality. My dad died of pancreatic cancer. If they announced a miracle cure tomorrow, I'm not going to take to Twitter like, okay, so all these entitled cancer havers out here today just get to go on being alive, huh? Is that how things work in Joe Biden's America? Okay. Like, I would like to think that experiencing a form of suffering yourself would make you more sympathetic to those in a similar plight, as opposed to resenting them when they are relieved of it. But what do I know? I never read the Bible or nothing.
Thank you so much, liberal redneck. It's a
Yes,
lot more of
sir.
that online. Listen, this is what we call a slam dunk. This is undeniable. Student loan debt sucks. Biden knows it. He's trying to do something, not just trying, he's doing something about it, and it's changing people's lives. I hope it can reach you. I hope it can reach me. I still got something I got to pay for my children, but in any event, let no
Go
one tell
online,
you.
look it up, register, put your name in the hat, however you got to do it. Make sure you at least got your name in the hat. Some people didn't even have to do that. They just got a email saying your debts are forgiven. They didn't even have to put their name in the hat. That's the
Yeah, and let no one tell you.
We're like,
Let
get
no
down,
one tell
DB.
you. Let no one tell you that Joe Biden is not working to do things for the middle class and the lower class. Let no one tell you that. It's happening all over. All you have to do is look for it, open your eyes, and open your ears.
Yes, sir. Hey, it's been good. It's been real. It's been fun.
Absolutely.
Like, subscribe, share, do what it do. Y'all know how to do all of that stuff.
And
We
vote.
need help. Vote. Share our videos because, you know, the voting public needs to hear this stuff.
It's the right thing to do. It's a requirement.
Right.
It's in the Geneva Convention.
Yeah. Y'all have a wonderful evening. KQ.
Peace out. Shout out to Kelly.
And all I wanna do is just listen to you. Politics 72. Can you dig it?
Register and vote.
1, 2, KQ. Can you dig it?
Don't vote for people with indictments.
KQ. Can you dig it?
1, 2, KQ. Diddle-dee-doo. Can you dig it? Yeah. Can you dig it?